Anthony Arundse back in the wing. Colby selected at fullback for the first time in Test rugby. Looking at the benches, O'Brien's promotion from the A squad could see him make his debut later this evening. It's a stacked Springboks bench, 5 of which played in the World Cup final 3 years ago. So we are almost ready to go. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. May not quite be appropriate for what we're going to see over the next couple of hours, but they haven't got to grips with each other over the last 5 years. Our match referee Nika Amashakeli, alongside with the afternoon, Alan Quinlan and CJ Stander, 2 former Irish back row forwards. What are you hoping or expecting to see over the next couple of hours, Alan?
Well, obviously from an Irish point of view, we're hoping for an Irish win, but it's going to be physical. It's going to be a real challenge and a test.
On you, please.
For the last 2 seasons, the Springboks have been so consistent. They bring so much power and pace. And CJ, you've been out there against them. That physicality, how do you cope with it?
Yeah, I think this is probably the first one we're going to see in this lineup. I think honestly we're going to get the ball out quickly, but there's going to be a physical matchup and one we're all excited for.
Quick ball for Conor Murray to work with, straight into Sexton. Well, looking for a quick start. Ball over the top, and that was fallen nicely for Gary Ringrose. Facing South Africa for the first time in his Test career. Referee has his arm out, so Ireland playing with an advantage. Porter.
Yes, offside as well.
It's slow ball for Conor Murray. The referee will bring play back. But a positive start for Ireland and an early opportunity for them to hit the front.
Yeah, it was a positive start. I think good line-out win, and Ireland hit it up the middle then, and Conor Murray went to try and get that box kick. It was half blocked down a little bit, and Gary Ringrose absolutely brilliant there. Peter Steph just gets that timing wrong. Ringrose has his eyes on the ball, kind of weathers the storm then, and South African players not rolling away. It's a great opportunity. You'd imagine Johnny Sexton will kick this, and it'll be a really good start for Ireland.
Sexton facing the South Africans for the 6th time, looking to add to the 66 points he's already amassed against the Springboks. And as settling kicks go, in absolutely perfect kicking conditions, this doesn't get much easier. Well, barely 2 minutes on the clock. Ireland wanted a quick start. They've got one, Alan.
First points in the game. Penalty for Ireland, scored by number 10.
Yeah, they have. They've got one. It's exactly what he wanted to try and do, fill the scoreboard against South Africa, but I think they were a little bit fortunate there with the deflection. Ringrose did really well, as I said, and it was an easy kick for Sexton.
So here is Damien Willemse. Just the 3rd time he's worn the 10 jersey from the start for South Africa. No Andre Pollard. Their last Test match was against Argentina in the Rugby Championship. Francois Steyn was at fly half that day.
On the first way.
So they don't have a world-class goal kicker in their team, but they've got plenty of threat out wide.
Yeah, that was a good kick-off from Willemse as well.
Diego called it on himself and takes it well.
Advantage.
Penalty advantage for the Springboks. Hendrickson, inside it goes to De Allende, formerly of the Munster parish.
Play on.
He's made some good ground, De Allende. Hendrickson. Nice pick up off his bootlaces by Malcolm Marks. And an early carry for Visa. Willemse. Colby with his first opportunity to get the ball in hand. Ireland know how quickly he can do damage. They got to him very smartly indeed.
Yeah, it's a really important tackle from Gary Ringrose. I know they're going back for the penalty, but you just want to take away that momentum. You know how dangerous he is, CJ Colby, when he gets the ball in those wide positions. And interestingly, and not surprisingly, from that first maul, they get a penalty.
I think Peter managed it actually very well there to get that down to the ground. But I think if you look at the breakdown for Springboks, giving no opportunities for the Irish backman to get in there. And Colby on the wing there, I think, yeah, that's why they went on top of him. They know he's dangerous.
Willems has pointed to the corner.
Yeah, this is what you don't want, is it? And here's the line-out win by the Jaeger. Yeah, I think maybe it's James Ryan that kind of fell over him a little bit, but this is a brilliant opportunity. Ireland have got to be really aggressive here and not allow them to get set. Easier said than done, but this is one of their big strengths, South Africa.
Marker Marks fires it inside to Etzebeth. Paul O'Connell earlier, though, we talked about how important the support was in the stands at the Aviva Stadium to the Irish players. Well, the supporters here are doing everything they can to get behind them now. It's an electric atmosphere. South Africa coming down the short side through Marks. And a carry from Steph Totoy. The toy, rather, and is taken up now by Malherbe. And now Luke de Jager. The toy again. Met by a two-man tackle involving McCluskey and Sexton.
You got a ball there. You got a ball. You got a ball on your player.
De Jager. South Africa begin the process of softening up opposing defenders. Etzebeth with another carry. Hendrickson.
No, it's a back
skips to Toy, goes to Willems. Attritional, intense, huge physicality already. Hitchoff involved that time. Hendrickson. Back at they go to Visa. To Toy. Tackled by McCluskey. Hendrickson. Little shorter ball to Malherbe. Stout defence from Ireland. Scrabbling for an extra few feet was Jesse Creel. Khaleesi. To Toy for Willemse. Look to spin out of the attempted tackle from Sexton. And they're within 5 metres now, the world champions. Willemse. Well, he was hoping to find a Springbok outside. He just about did in the end. Eventually, Curtly Anderense got there. But Ireland had straight offside earlier that passage of play, and it's another South African penalty.
Just a penalty, nothing serious, yeah, fine. Right, hang on. Captain, is the one for offside there? Or for tackle in the air? It's there in the middle, yeah. So it's one offside and tackle in the air.
Well, two different penalties, and unsurprisingly, Siya Khaleesi opts to go to that closer to the posts, and it should be an easy opportunity for Damon Willems to bring the sides level.
Absolutely, he'd go back in, and I think it's incredible pressure from South Africa. Great defence from Ireland. I think Tyke Furlong will feel a little bit hard done by. He got his hands in, the ball popped out at the side. He wasn't rewarded for it, but I think that's a big boost for Ireland there to hold South Africa out. Peter Steph Totoy going through the middle. It's this one here. Now, it was McCluskey, actually. It was McCluskey. I think he's very unlucky there not to be rewarded for that. But they were offside. They crept up a little bit there, and they had 2 penalties. Mac Hansen is kind of lucky he pulled out of that. But to give away the 3 points instead of maybe 7 there, and that's what South Africa do so well. You could see him lining up in little pockets there, running onto the ball, and the Irish defence was very aggressive, and it needs to be for 80 minutes.
Well, like Sexton before him. An easy opportunity first up for Willemse, who has had his good days with the kicking team. Nailed a kick to help them beat the Wallabies in July of this year. But he doesn't kick regularly with his club, and that will settle his there as if there were any in the first place. So level pegging just under 9 minutes in. CJ, your early thoughts?
I'm very impressed already with the Irish mole defence there. I think it's Paul O'Connell written all over it. You can see Tyke there and Sheenan blocking those corners, not giving him anything, and that led into the good defence set there.
27th time these nations have met. South Africa have dominated the rivalry traditionally with 18 wins to 7 for Ireland, but 6 of those wins have come in the last 10 meetings. No road for That's a bit to gain any yards.
Yeah, I tell you, it's a big impact tackle from Doris there. It's a bit, such a big man. He was getting up ahead of steam, but Doris met him right in the midriff there. It was a great tackle.
Right blocked out from Sheehan, and Hansen went for it. Couldn't quite beat David De Allende to it. Ireland looking to force him into touch.
Release.
Hendrickson, Diego. That ball dropped, possibly went backwards. That's how the referee saw it, and his assistant on this near side.
Wait.
Well, having failed with his first one, Hendrickson might go to the skies again. And that's a tester now. Keenan is coming a long way to try and get there. It just seemed to hang in the air, and we came off a Springbok hand. Balakoon is hammered by Jesse Creel. Here's McCloskey.
Oh, it's brilliant from McCloskey, isn't it? Great strength there.
Well, he was right there to help his clubmate, who was in a little bit of difficulty beneath that dropping ball. It falls for Sexton. Neat interplay between himself and Doris. And Sheehan retrieves it. Game being played at an incredible tempo. Tyke Byrne with a little show and go.
Stay. No, don't leave the leg.
Conor Murray looking to send up a bomb of his own. Mark Hansen leading the chase, and it's a really good take from Willemse. Hendrickson. Kasper Wiese with the carry. Packet goes for Colby.
Stay South Africa.
Great height on this one again, and it's initially lost but retaken.
The counter-rock's fine.
There's one of them from Hugo Keenan, who has played absolutely no rugby since that third test against the All Blacks in Wellington. Sexton under pressure, breaks for Balakoon. He'll hope to use his athleticism at certain stages of this game.
Don't try taking him beyond, all right? So we go back for it.
It's pretty frantic, isn't it? Hugo Keenan initially did absolutely brilliant.
He took it beyond the breakdown, so he can't. So we go for first, come advantage.
As you can see, every breakdown is a meal. I think everyone is going hard. Battle is going to be won and lost.
I think you've got to be on the money as well, don't you?
Time is off.
As regards the counter-rock every time, because that is one of their big strengths, CJ. You've got to, is it about enthusiasm or technique getting there early?
You know all about a breakdown, Connie. I think it's just you want to be in there and you want to make it a mess. There's technique for sure, but willingness to get in there and fight hard.
Well, we've had to wait just 12 minutes or so for the first scrum. So much talk in the build-up about this South African front row. The bomb squad both on and off the field. We'll see them empty their bench in the final quarter.
Time back on. No calling the tackle.
Up against Furlong, Sheehan and Porter. Well, Ireland have had to do an awful lot more work on the ground than South Africa, as you could see there. Nearly 50 tackles already. South Africa have had the ball for the most part.
It's a lot of tackles, isn't it? It takes its toll on you as well, but you know, South Africa are being smart. They're playing in Ireland's half, and obviously we haven't seen a lot of attacking flair, but we've seen serious intensity and intent and aggression from both sides.
How will the Irish front row stand up to this South African scrum? Both front rows have come down. The Georgian referee wants it played, which will suit Ireland just fine. Sexton puts a bit of width on it. It'll find its way to Hansen. Brought down at the end by De Allende. Murray under all sorts of pressure from Wiese. And it came off the Munster scrum half's hand.
Yeah, it's big pressure again at the breakdown, and he just gets isolated, doesn't he, Hansen there, and nobody protecting Murray. And Ireland have got to be careful there. You've got to applaud their ambition going across the field, and if they can get some of those passes away, there was a lot of space out on the edge here, but the risk is then You know, Hansen is going back here. If he gets that pass away, Keenan's on the outside. There's a tackle there from Dialende. He gets back on his feet. Nobody supporting there. A risky one because he tackles high, Dialende there. But a little bit isolated. Ireland have just got to be careful.
What a big year Vesper Visas had. 3 seasons at Welford Road, a big part of their push to the Premiership title last season. He's backing down here at number 8, along with the captain Khaleesi and Dutoy in that back row. Free kick South Africa. Hendrickson wasting no time. Good tackle though. Watching his man all the way was Conor Murray. Kid shot.
Not on the ball. Stay on.
Malherbe. Ireland's defence has been rock solid so far. McCluskey sensing a steal, and they did get right in over that ball. Really good work between Doris and McCluskey. That's a big moment as we get towards the end of the opening quarter of an hour.
Yeah, and you can see the reaction from the Irish players. McCluskey coming into this side, you know, no Bundyaki, no Robbie Henshaw. This is a great opportunity for him to have a big game today, and a significant boost there, CJ, to win a turnover like that. It gives the Irish team. Somebody's got blood here. I think it's Tyke Byrne, is it?
Yes, it is Tyke Byrne.
Yes, please.
Well, it's been a rip-roaring start, and it's just the start. So we've got a brilliant month of rugby continuing next week here in Virgin Media 2. Park Kyiv Thursday night, Munster taking on a South African Select 15 in what should be a brilliant occasion. Join us from 6:30 for that one. The next Saturday we're back here at the Aviva Stadium, the earlier time of midday. Ireland taking on Fiji, and then to wrap up the Autumn Nations series for Andy Farrell's men, they're hosting the Wallabies in a fortnight's time. So much to look forward to, but an awful long way to go here in match 1 at the Aviva.
Yeah, you can see from the pictures there, it was Caelan Doris and McCluskey there putting that pressure. You mentioned Jasper Wiese a minute ago. He has that CJ Stander leg drive and power, and that was brilliant defence there from Ireland again. But as I said it a minute ago, you've got to keep doing that, CJ. They're going to keep coming at Ireland all the time. 1 outrunners, 2 outrunners, just pumping the legs.
Yeah, I think that's probably as we saw in the start of the game. Stuart McCluskey bringing in that big punch with Caelan. That just breaks the team a little bit, and that's the breakdowns we need. They really put him under pressure there, and it's good to see that Stu he's actually started very well. Some good carries, big leg drive, and a few very good turnovers. As you said, I think he was unlucky with the first one, but that was an impressive one.
Well, perhaps both sets of players will welcome this little break as Tyke Byrne gets himself tidied up. I mean, Ireland do obviously want to keep the ball in play as much as possible, play this high-octane game, but this has been a ferocious start.
It has, yeah, and they're the ones kind of absorbing a fair bit there. They haven't had really any foothold in the South African half, and that's probably the key in the next, couple of minutes. It's only 15 minutes gone. Is to try and find some territory, get up the field, because South Africa invariably, if they want to keep you pressed back in your own half, and they force mistakes, and maybe Ireland will get rewarded with a little bit of space in the edge, but it's a little bit risky because their rush defence is so aggressive, and that comes from Nienaber. His mentality is get off the line incredibly quick. So I think the key for Ireland in the next 10-15 minutes is try and find some territory and manage the flow of the game a little bit.
I understand.
Let's see where Diaga picked up that injury. Just fell awkwardly with Sexton on top of him.
Fine back on.
He's had some treatment and seems fine. His third appearance against Ireland. He's been beaten in the previous 2 games in which he's faced them. So now Sexton, now 36 years of age, finds a good touch. So can Ireland get themselves a little bit of territory here?
On the line, South Africa on the line, It's okay.
Sheehan goes to the tail where Byrne was waiting. Murray for Sexton, a brilliant offload, and now Keenan in a little bit of space. The pass just a bit too high for Hansen. But Jonathan Sexton took that right to the line.
Lifting the leg.
And Ireland have a penalty advantage. Doris. Sexton for Ringrose. Passing channel was occupied, so he was wise in keeping it. Sexton. O'Mahony's out on that wing, and he's taken it well. Good tackle on him by Mapimbi. They'll come back for the penalty.
I think they may look at this tackle here, yeah. Cheslin Colby could find himself in a bit of trouble. It's definitely a penalty, but they're going to look at this, and I think he lifts the legs in the air.
Foul play, we had initially advantage of.
Yeah, actions of 15 and 7.
Right.
Coming to the screen now.
We've been looking at both Cheslin Colby and the open side to Toy on Hansen. Now, was he tipped in that tackle? Well, there's no question he was. And there could be a bit of trouble for these boys here. The TMO this afternoon, Stuart Terrich from England.
Doesn't look good there.
Yeah,
I think
there's initially
one more angle coming, guys. One more angle coming.
It's so needless.
Determine which player initially lifts Irish player, please.
So I'd like you to look. I'd like you to focus on the actions of 15. I believe he's the primary lifter.
Okay. So 15 has got both arms wrapped around him, so initially now he lifts him and drives over it. You agree, Stu? You agree? All right. So, Stu?
Doesn't look good, does it?
So I have a number 15 who is initially lifting a player.
You might see a card, yeah.
Above the horizontal.
We spoke about this
and
before the game.
On his back. So he's not a big dynamic in this, but still dangerous
two players
from the yellow card.
I would agree. The player is able to roll out.
Yeah. It's a dynamic. It's not a dynamic, sorry. But it's still a dangerous. It's above the horizontal. Right, so I'm yellow. Right, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so it's a yellow card. Yes. Yeah. Right, 15.
Well, a card it is, and it's a yellow card. Alan, it was going to be a card of some colour. Has he picked the right one?
I think he has. I think there's no force in the drive by Colby.
So it's a lift in action, and the player goes on the back.
And
it's not a dynamic.
And Mac Hansen can kind of put his hand out a little bit. Could have went the other way, but I think it's probably the right call. Yellow is the right call. Red would have been very harsh there, CJ, but he's got to be careful there. When you lift a player's leg, it's very, very dangerous, and you're putting yourself in that position of potentially getting sent off. But I think yellow is the right call.
Yeah, I think it's we're going to see a card anyway. I think it's a very difficult one again when two players go in. You don't almost know who's to blame, but yeah, yellow. It's going to be a big difference in the game now from X10.
We saw Matthew Rynell putting his tuppence worth in there. CJ, you've got previous with him, I believe.
I do. Very good weekend down in Cape Town in 2016, so I still love the dream.
Yeah, the colour of the card was of a slightly different hue on that occasion.
Or the nightmare, I should say.
So the first real attacking platform Ireland have had in the South African 22. That man is gone for 10 minutes.
Come on.
Peter Steph might feel a little bit fortunate that he wasn't following him.
They're both lucky. You know, why do that? You're putting yourself in that position. I think there'll be a sense of relief from the South African coaches that the card wasn't different.
Shortened line out from Ireland. O'Mahony's the option. Off the top from Murray, and now McCloskey. Hansen, if they could keep it going through the hands, there was an opening. But that was a hugely important tackle from Mapimbi. And South Africa have forced the penalty as well. That was a try-saving piece of defence from Makazole Mapimpi.
Yeah, outstanding from him. He gets his timing right, and he's so good at that, Mapimpi. The thing is, if you don't get the timing right there and Ireland get the pass away, it's try time. But I think the ball is in the air too long. Great execution at the line out. Brilliant line. You can see the South Africans just flying up. Jesse Creel there. If you all do it together, which they did there, it's so effective, and it's a brilliant tackle. Did he take him in the air? No, he got one foot down. Brilliant timing from him, and a really, really important turnover. Ireland in that 22. opportunity missed, but South Africa can thank that man for an incredible tackle there.
And the Sharks winger, he knew it was all or nothing as he went in for Keaton there.
And it's not just the tackle, Dave, it's the reaction of the other players around him to get over and counter-ruck.
And also bring South Africa back into the Irish half of the field as they just look to manage the clock during this 10-minute spell without Cheslin Colby. Malcolm Marks, the 28-year-old, one of several in this South African squad playing his club rugby in Japan at the moment.
Hands up, hands up, hands up!
Yeah, South Africa, Jasper Visa out in the centres at the moment. Well, this won't be going so wide, it'll be direct from Tialinde.
I think I have to get the breakdown secured there, to run down Johnny's channel and to make sure they get the ball back.
Great work from Ireland on the ground. McCloskey involved again. He's had a big first quarter, Stuart McCloskey. He would have been running in the 12 channel and training all week, knowing there was potentially an issue with Robbie Henshaw. He got the nod yesterday, just outside that man, Jonathan Sexton.
10. All right. So it's a penalty against the neck grab now.
Well, that's been reversed, and it's going to be a penalty for South Africa for a high tackle.
Penalty around the neck.
The TMO Stuart Terriage got involved. Jonathan Sexton, the culprit.
It's hard to see it there, but
shot called now.
that arm around what he's penalised for there, the arm around Damien Dialinde's head, and of course you cannot do that. So what turned out to be a big kind of boost and reaction from Ireland, you could see from the Irish players. Willems has a chance to put South Africa ahead.
Plenty of South African support in the stands this afternoon, and they'll be hoping that man can put them in front for the first time in this game. And you can see his overall success rate from the tee, nowhere near the level required at Test match rugby. But he's still just 24. Made his Stormers debut as an 18-year-old. He's taken his time to begin realising his potential, but he brings so much more in that fly half position than the likes of Steyn or Pollard. But that's where he lacks at the moment, and it could be an issue as the months tick on towards a World Cup for the reigning world champions.
Oh, I never got that right, did he? Such a talented player. They're trying to bring him through, Jacques Nienenbar, but it's an opportunity lost there.
Sexton's restart towards Balakoon. Collected by McCloskey. Van der Fleer, first time we've seen him carry. And he's been isolated here. A huge counter ruck from the South Africans. That is devastating work from them. Hendrickson wants to tap and go, but he hasn't taken it from the right spot. Now there's the dangers of allowing a ball carrier become that isolated. South Africa pounce with such speed.
It was Malcolm Marks as well. He's so powerful. He initially drives Irish players off that ball, and it's immense pressure. It's just continuous pressure there at that breakdown. You switch off for any moment or any lapse, and they're going to the corner this time, but incredible counter ruck from South Africa there, and it was a big turnover.
Well, as luck so often has it, you miss a kick, your next opportunity is from virtually the same spot. This is how the penalty arrived, and Phillips, so what he was told initially by his captain, there was no chance of going to the post. They have gone to the corner, and some more defending for Ireland to do. 14-man South Africa playing all of the rugby at the moment. One in the air by Etzebeth. The Irish defensive maul doing its job. Hendrickson, kitch up. Latched onto by Khaleesi. Van der Fleer and Sexton holding their progress. Du Toit. Penalty Ireland.
No, it's a big moment, isn't it? South Africans just going off their feet, latching on and sinking straight to the ground there. It looked like they were getting a bit of momentum, South Africa there, getting over the gain line. Kitsoff pumped the legs forward there. And then that carry around the corner from the toy. South Africans just gone off their feet. Gives Ireland a chance just to get a little breather here. They've been under the pump a little bit. Very direct approach. You can see it. Levi Jaeger. Yeah, he goes straight down, sealing off the ball.
Well, that was the reaction in the Irish coaching booth. Double jobbing this week. The likes of Paul O'Connell and Simon Easterby under their head coach Andy Farrell, helping the A side prepare for their game with New Zealand last night. Pretty even on penalties conceded. South Africa averaged about 11 penalties a game conceded in the Rugby Championship. That's an untidy set piece from Ireland. And here comes De Jager. Tackled by McCluskey. Willemse.
South Africa in front.
Bit more time for Keenan this time. He runs it back with purpose. Furlong. So often the playmaker in that position, but takes it up himself this time. Back for Sexton. Off goes Balakoon. Underneath it was Mapimbi. Balakoon almost knocked it back on the Ireland side. Referee has called that a knock-on, which may have been a bit harsh. But a pretty good view of it from our commentary position.
You got a ball. No.
The advantage will be over momentarily. Hendrickson down towards Balakoon. Excellently taken from him.
You got a ball now.
That's a great take from Balakoon, isn't it? Under so much pressure there.
There's Furlong with those soft hands. Keenan now. Ireland finding some space as Byrne goes to Hansen. Hansen was just knocked off a stride after he delivered that kick, but he has still managed to find his man in Jesse Creel. Raucous atmosphere at the Aviva again. Furlong's tackle on De Jager, but there's an offside against Ireland.
Yeah, it was Doris in midfield. Hendricks has just shimmied a little bit.
Willemse stopped by Sheehan. De Allende. Ryan on top of him. Hendrickson. Etzebeth.
Advantage over.
It's Kitsoff.
Tackle now, tackle. Oh, you got a ball.
Well, that's worked out pretty nicely for Ireland. Penalty advantage for the Springboks. And just seconds after that advantage ceased, they've got in over the ball again.
Yeah, they'd be disappointed, South Africa, that advantage didn't last a little bit longer. Colby's coming back on now as well, but Ireland nearly getting the space out there with Mac Hansen. You just think what was probably needed was a little grubber along the ground rather than he had a big wind up back in field, loads of space in the backfield, but that execution, I think Ireland are just that tiny bit away from getting that clean line break. There seems to be space. It's incredibly hard to get it out there because that midfield defence is so aggressive, but it's better from Ireland, and they're scrambling there. That's I think it was Dan Sheehan there got that turnover.
I think we'll probably see some success on that wide attacking channel from Ireland later in the game. I think the Springboks are still on top of the game. Connie, I think you're on top of it. I think it's we're talking about splits of a second of that ball going a bit quicker or a bit more accuracy, and they'll get that break.
And I think they'll let it. Jack Nienaber have identified what Ireland did in New Zealand as well. CJ, the way they hold on to the ball, the accuracy with those little wraparound passes. And they're putting so much pressure and so much emphasis to get off the line. As you say, the interesting thing can they keep doing that for 80 minutes? But, they're a dangerous side themselves.
This is where Stuart McCluskey picked up his injury, and he's in an awful lot of pain over there. And this doesn't look good. Jimmy O'Brien is stripped and ready to go, about to make his international debut. Well, if this is the end of the game for McCluskey, how disappointing it is for him. He's waited so long for an opportunity to test himself in Ireland's best team against one of the best teams in the world.
Yeah, it's his shoulder as well, I think. It's heartbreaking for him, you know, and he was doing so well. And he's a significant loss because of his physicality and size.
Substitution for Ireland, number 23.
Particularly in that midfield with Robbie Henshaw gone, Bundyaki gone, and now Stuart McCluskey off the field.
12, Stuart McCluskey.
No luck.
They're really delving into their midfield resources at this stage, Ireland.
No steps behind, no sideways.
Well, that is a sad sight indeed.
Yeah.
It brings so much bulk and power to that Irish midfield, particularly in the absence of Bundyaki.
How's the call?
Yeah, Jimmy O'Brien now is going to outside centre. Gary Ringrose is going to go into 12. So just kind of you still have that elusive attacking Jimmy O'Brien, a really good player, a good stepper, but it's just that bit of physicality against Dialende and Jesse Creel.
Well, his versatility has him as a key man at Leinster these days, and he's showing it again here. Plays so much of his rugby on the wing, but here he is in the international arena for the first time, and he's in Ireland's midfield. Murray, Balaku, that's a reach for that one, but he held on well. Sheehan ducks under that tackle from Etzebeth, and up and under from Murray. Balaku looking to get after it. Good positional play from Willemse. Good feet as well from the 10. Balaku eventually makes his tackle.
No.
There's a little deep, wasn't it, that kick from Conor Murray?
Counter work was fine.
Idea was right.
And use it now, 9.
Hendricks is certainly taking his time here. That's not his best kick either. Murray. Keenan. Looking for that little half gap. Stopped by Diego.
No.
Now O'Mahony. Murray for Ryan. Sexton sweeps one out to Balaku, who wisely withdrew from it, knowing that it was potentially going to end up in a knock-on, which ultimately it has done anyway.
Yeah, it's risky. I think he used the ball to try and fend off the South African player. Just loses the ball. I think Colby is over talking to the assistant referee on the far side. Let's see it again. There was space there.
Ball was out last time.
It's a shame it didn't go to hand. I think it's...
Make sure you stay straight now, yeah? That's
what he's saying, that he uses the arm, but the arm is in by the body. There's nothing wrong with it to propel forward. It's risky when you kind of use that forearm a little bit, but he's holding the ball there in his hand.
Yeah, it's a risky one. I think when you he's lucky they get it close to the chest. I think Johnny, you can see he wants someone to get onto that ball, and that's the difference. I think someone needs to start running onto that ball in that wide areas and take that space.
Well, as you can see there, South Africa playing pretty much all of the rugby in this first half an hour. Certainly getting over that gain line with regularity in comparison to their hosts. South Africa, of course, back up to their full complement. There's that lost forward by Visa. The referee's assistant on that far side was right on the spot. Penalty for Ireland, however. Matthew Reynal was all over that.
Yeah, it's just a mistake from Visa, isn't it? He's not happy. Good scrum. I thought the South Africans were going to go for a second drive. Let's see it again. He just gets tangled here, loses the ball. Yeah, it goes forward. Murray comes around then, and O'Mahony locks onto the ball, and they get rewarded with the penalty.
It's so close to the touchline. As the Irish coaching staff react to it. Not much of an angle for Sexton to work with. And he's really only picked up about 10 metres or so, if that. The man is the latest Irish centurion in Conor Murray, and the fourth Munster man to do so as well.
Come on, Ireland, no huddle, come on. No huddle.
And everyone can just draw a breath again. Then Ireland slowly making their way to the line out. It was tipped by Byrne, just about getting at the Irish side, and Ringrose tries to wriggle away from that tackle from Willemse.
Yeah, that's 2 in a row in the lineouts now that haven't, one over the back, and that one was pretty messy.
Jimmy O'Brien's first touch in Test match rugby. Doris finds Furlong, rather shoveled it in the direction of the Wexford man. Sexton held well by Peter O'Mahony. Byrne popped it short for Porter. Ireland really struggling to get over that gain line now. So to the skies they go. Hansen looking for it. Kitshoff was very quick out of the blocks on that one. Willemse.
South Africa stay.
Oh, brilliant block down by Sheehan. Chance here for Dan Sheehan. Sheehan for Ireland. Has he got it down? He certainly believes so.
I'm not so sure. Oh, it's a great block from Sheehan. He's so quick. Jesse Creel gets back shoulder to shoulder with him. He thinks he has it, but we'll wait and see in the picture. The ball could have been up in the air. Let's have a look.
Okay, we don't know what's happened, all right? We just check what's wrong.
So I don't think the referee's made a decision either way here. Well, a man who's been a brilliant try scoring for him this season. 6 tries in 5 games for Leinster, and he certainly hasn't got one here. Clear knock on. He isn't rewarded for that brilliant piece of endeavour.
Yeah, it's the second time, isn't it? He tips it forward, and it's the second one. Would have been fortuitous, obviously, but Sheehan is brilliant. So quick. He's got so much pace to his game.
Well, he was trying to pull the wool over all our eyes, Dan Sheehan, with the manner in which he celebrated afterwards. He must have known in his own heart of hearts that was never going to count.
You have to celebrate, don't you? Try anyway, take a chance, but look, sometimes you see players in those situations when you go to the TMO. It was a terrible kick, wasn't it, from Willemse, way too low. Sheehan didn't have to do much there, just be in that position. I thought he was going to pick it up.
The one thing I must say about Sheehan, he's been going at that box kick and at Willemse the whole afternoon so far, so I think that's pressure and he's got rewarded it.
He's like an extra wing forward, isn't he? He's so dynamic around the field.
A disappointment for them. Well, what a test match this is. South Africa lucky to atone for that record defeat here 5 years ago. And they turned the ship around very effectively indeed, winning a World Cup under 2 years later. So just under 10 minutes remaining in this first half. Ireland looking to join England, Wales, New Zealand and Australia in the sides that have beaten South Africa over the last year. Water break is done. How can Ireland take on this South African scrum so close to their own try line?
Last time was better, gentlemen, because you worked hard there. Last time was better because you worked hard there on the stability. Make sure it continues, all right? Up. And you straight. Let's go. Yeah, just keep up.
Two sides very similar in terms of their experience. They both average about 28 caps a man. Both in very similar stages of their development. And of course, they will meet again at the World Cup in under a year's time. Free kick, South Africa.
It's a little bit harsh, that one, isn't it? Just we haven't seen numerous of those, so I just think it's an early call there from him.
Willemse found himself under a little bit of pressure there.
Yeah, when he moves, Hansen is quite entitled to run forward there.
I think it was actually Andrew Porter.
Was it Porter? A loose head prop chasing another player down there, a fly half down as well, but yeah, this is really crucial for Ireland now. I think the last 2 lineouts, as I said, one, they were both just didn't get their timing right.
Ryan to the front. Murray. Oh, lovely from Conor Murray. That's what we've seen from him down through the years. Not so much in recent seasons. Sheehan, that went backwards into his hands. Van der Fleer into play scrum half. Finds Porter. He's looking to Bulldoze his way through the tackles. Ireland's best spell, territorial at least, but repelled by that South African defence. Murray again, Byrne back inside for Doris. Ringrose. It's a good carry from him. Porter first on the scene. Murray skipped Van der Fleer to find Ryan. Ireland lacking width at the moment. They may keep it tight. They do in Porter. He's hit by Marks.
Tackle!
Byrne, nice footwork from him. Now Sexton. Jimmy O'Brien holds on to it, tackled by Jesse Creel.
No on tackle by number 3.
No on tackle, penalty advantage for Ireland. Sexton now for Mac Hansen. Lovely soft hands, and Ryan has to go himself. And they will come back for that penalty.
Advantage. Going back for advantage.
Yeah, I think it's against Franz Malherbe. No arms in the tackle there. It's impressive from Ireland. You mentioned it, Dave. Gary Ringrose, an impressive carry.
Tackle there by number 3.
The intelligence and the acceleration through the gap. They're making good decisions in that. And it's so difficult because they're so aggressive, the South Africans. What a break by Conor Murray. Superb. Goes to ground. They're trying to keep it alive quickly. This is the one from Ringrose. Maybe a little offload is on there, but it's a bit getting around trying to get at the breakdown. And it's amazing, even when you clean out one of the South Africans at the breakdown, you've got to go again because they come back a second time. That's the tackle from Malherbe.
Well, no arms tackle. That's the absolute definition of that from the tight head. Big blow for Ireland and losing McCloskey, and a similar blow now for South Africa. They've lost Lou Diego, their World Cup winning second row, to what looks to be a similar injury. So an early change to them. In comes Franco Muster. He came off the bench in the defeat here in 2017. He was off the bench in the World Cup final, and he's in from the reserve bench again here today.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking for the Jaeger there, the same as McCluskey, and you hate to see that in the game, and it's so unfortunate.
Ireland look to have lost Conor Murray as well. With that sort of an opening half, in comes Jamison Gibson-Park. Not how he wanted his 100 cap to end, Conor Murray.
I'm not sure what happened here. Was it when he went to ground? Did he get the legs tangled a little bit there? But that's incredibly disappointing. But it's an incredibly physical game. Special day for Conor Murray, winning his 100 cap.
Looking to play in a 4th World Cup next year, Murray. He received a standing ovation, while at the same time Jonathan Sexton put the ball between the posts. So Ireland leads 6-3. Did he just pull up here on his way through? Yes, you can see it. The hamstring looks like it's gone. Or maybe a groin injury, and Conor Murray looks a disconsolate figure as he leaves the field. Doris claims the restart. Ireland with a slender first half lead.
No, you're off your feet. Release.
Well, the lead at half-time is an important aspect of Ireland. Their last 13 times they've held the lead at half-time, they've gone on to win.
Yeah, I think they'll be pleased, obviously, to be ahead. It's not as if South Africa had loads of chances, but they've had a lot of play down in Ireland's half, and they put a lot of pressure on there. You know, so Ireland have weathered that storm a little bit, gone up the field and gone ahead. And Murray's, it's a tough one for Conor Murray, and a challenge for Gibson-Park coming on. He's played no rugby since the summer.
Early. Play advantage.
Well, it's an advantage here for South Africa. Here's the toy.
Yeah, it's shrewd from South Africa. They hold the jumper up there, and Ireland just engaged.
Dale Ende stabbing one through. Oh, what a pick-up that is from Jesse Creel. Hendrickson. And they're slaloming their way through here, and Balakoon had to keep his nerve. They'll come all the way back to this near side for that line-out penalty. But Robert Balakoon, when surrounded by Springboks, kept calm.
Early.
Yeah, and it's the inevitable situation. They'll kick to the corner here again, and right before half-time, psychologically, CJ, big play coming up here. Unless he has a shot at goal, but I assume they're going to kick to the corner. This is a big moment for Ireland with, 2.5 minutes left in the game, in the first half.
I think, yeah, exactly. I think they're going to go for the corner here. You know that advantage you have when you go in just before half-time when you scored. So big defensive set being asked here of Ireland again. Maul has been defended very, very well. My big concern is I've seen Ireland on the wing here lurking around for that cross kick.
That's right.
So Phillips will head for the corner. 2 minutes remaining.
It just shows the type of game that we've had so far. Like, Ireland have had one clean break, South Africa none. It's a real attritional, direct game for both sides. I think Ireland have probably shown a little bit more ambition to get width in it, but they found that very difficult with that aggressive defence from South Africa.
Big moment you feel here. Malcolm Marks with the line-out throw. Ryan disrupts it brilliantly. Ireland need to get back out from behind their own try line, though. Tadhg Furlong had to fight for every inch there.
Well, it was brilliant from James Ryan. I think he just got up in front of Etzebeth.
Cleared by Jimmy O'Brien. Ireland will have more defending to do, but they stood tall there.
No, it's brilliant. They've got to do it again. You can see Ryan just gets the hand there. I think Etzebeth, they showed their hand a little bit there. It kind of seemed to go through. He's come off Etzebeth's hand. That maybe he knocked it on. It should be a knock on there from Etzebeth.
Yeah, that was missed by the referee and his assistant. And had it been spotted, Tadhg Furlong may have not had to go through what he did. And it looks like he's picked up an injury now. Just 40 minutes of rugby for Tadhg Furlong since that third test in New Zealand. Chance for the Irish to regroup and talk their way through what may occur over the next minute or so. Finlay Bealham getting himself prepped if required. Well, there was a nod of the head there from Furlong, which might suggest he's happy to continue. Ireland carried it over their own line and had to fight their way back out. Furlong, with a little bit of help from Van der Fleer, did just that.
Oh, it's fine.
Well, he's down again. That left ankle is a problem.
Yeah, they're going to strap it up. He's going to stay on the field, Furlong. The last thing they need to do is, to lose him now at this stage. He's so important to this side. Incredibly talented player, but incredibly physical player as well. Such an impact tackler, and his work rate is through the roof.
And he's certainly the corner of that team. He's a guy that's very physical, carries well, and man that stands up in the scrum.
I tell you, if South Africa score off this one or this facet of play, 20 minutes left before half-time, Andy Farrell won't be too pleased, because Etzebeth did knock that on in the line-out, and it was missed by the officials.
Time back on.
Another opportunity for Marks. Didn't find his mark the last time. He does this time in the forward to Toy. Khaleesi barges over the top of Van der Fleer. And when Darren to play scrum half.
Release 4.
South Africa threatening now. Visa.
Advantage offside.
Penalty advantage for the world champions. Ireland straying offside as Willemse flings it towards Sealende. He's held up on the tackle by O'Mahony.
Going back for advantage.
Well, do they take the points here?
Yeah, I'd imagine they should do.
No. No.
And you'll have heard some pretty colourful language there, picked up by our pitchside microphones. Temper spraying as we get towards half-time.
Is there offside, is it? Okay. Let me deal with it. Shot called.
Well, they are calling a shot at
That's the
goal.
whole back line. Rock shifted.
As James
Never
Ryan now gets some treatment. The medical staff have been overworked in this first half. Well, interestingly, a pretty simple kick right in front of the post, and it's not Damien Willemse with the tee in his hand. Another, if you could call him, a part-time kicker in Cheslin Colby. Himself and wearing an unfamiliar jersey today with 15 for the first time in a test match.
I was meant to go take a picture and I was like, it's not coming out.
He's never kicked a goal for South Africa. But this will be the final kick of a very draining first half for these players. Through it goes. Nothing to separate them. The world's number-ranked side and the world champions have gone toe-to-toe for over 40 minutes, and they are level. Half-time at the Aviva Stadium. It's Ireland 6, South Africa 6.
Meanwhile, at the Aviva Stadium, we are 6 points apiece. Second half about to get underway. Desperately disappointing for Conor Murray. He was having a very good game as well on his 100th Test appearance, and well, an ovation earlier than he wanted. We're about to go second half. I think we saw Finlay Bealham there. So bench is all important here, Matt.
Yeah, Ireland can win this, but they've got to maintain their scrum and line out. They've got to maintain their set play.
Okay, back to you, Dave.
Yes, thanks, guys. Well, more bad news for Ireland at half-time. Tyke Furlong hasn't been able to retake his place on the field. So a switch in the front row. In comes Finlay Bealham, who has been on the field for some of Ireland's best moments over the last couple of years. He is tried and tested at this level, but he's got a big test ahead of him over the next 40 minutes or so. Both sets of teams players have lost guys to injury in that first half. Lud de Jager gone for South Africa. McCluskey, Murray and Bealham, and Furlong rather, absent for Ireland.
No hands.
There's Willemse. Did have a knock just before half time, which meant Colby took that kick, which brought the sides level. Marks. Hendrikse back for Colby.
Stay South Africa.
There'll be snow on this one when it hits the ground. Hansen just got a little bit of a nudge, and it was knocked on by a South African hand.
Yeah, it's that type of game, and particularly in the first half, it's really hard to find any space, and Colby going to the air there again. Steph the Toy usually holds on to those ones, but you said it, Dave. Tyke Furlong going off. That's a big blow. You know, they already lost
couple of good
McCluskey and Murray as well, so three big players gone off the field for Ireland.
Stay straight now. Elbow up. Stay with you now. Stay straight, please.
And it's going to be telling, but it's going to be a test for the players who've come on and the depth of this squad. So they've got to adapt and cope. It's a big half of rugby for Finlay Bealham. This is his first scrum. He's got to get it right here. Kitsoff is a powerful scrummager.
Fine.
Well, Andy Farrell spoke during the week about this being somewhat of a mini World Cup. These series of games, and there would be ups and downs and issues with injuries and personnel. This is when you want the likes of Finlay Bealham to really get his opportunity 11 months out from a World Cup and not be thrown into it in a potential quarter-final at some stage in France.
Yeah, he's right at the coalface here, and that scrum there was creeping around there. With Kitsoff, the referee thought it was okay, but I think Kitsoff is coming right out with his hips there. You can see the angle there overhead. He's just kind of running around there, and it's right in front of the referee.
Make sure you stay straight.
He's saying it's a good contest. It's not straight scrummaging though. But they're going to target him. It's exactly what the message will be coming on from Rassie Erasmus now, and Nienaber go after the tight head side of that scrum. And we know how effective South Africa are at this. But I think Kitsoff has got to be straight here.
Bealham will likely have Vincent Koch to deal with then later in this second half. But that's a good start for the Connacht tight head. A real confidence booster. That man not out there at the moment. but he'll be hoping that Finlay Bealham acquits himself well for the remainder of this game.
Yeah, he gets the break there right in front of the ref. Maybe he felt that he should have rewarded him for the last one, but Bealham is trying to go very low. Kitsoff looked a bit bemused there. We probably have to see it again. Could have been a bit of a harsh one there. Let's look at it again. It's right in front of the ref. Well, they both kind of go down, don't they? Both hinge in there.
Hold the gap.
Line out has malfunctioned a couple of times, but just the
Hold
one
the gap. Yes,
line out lost to South Africa. Sheehan all the way to the beyond the tail, in fact, to O'Mahony. Sexton, that looked forward to Mac Hansen. Recycled by Jimmy O'Brien, and he's forced a couple of South Africans to fall off their tackle. Sexton has yet to get back to his feet and looks to be in a lot of pain on the 10-metre line. Ireland attacking without their fly half. Hansen, Gibson Park for O'Mahony. Keenan, Ringrose, Gibson Park. Oh, that's brilliant to Hansen. Gibson Park looking sharp despite having played no rugby this season. Hansen now, again at first receiver. It's a wonderful ball out to O'Mahony. Takes two to put him down. Ringrose for Porter. Sexton still receiving treatment out of picture. Ringrose again. Gibson Park looking to work that short side. Offside called against Franz Malherbe, who had no intention of getting out of that area. There is Sexton, still being tended to.
Yeah, the crowd wanted more there from Malherbe, and Gibson Park was right to pass there. There was a little bit of space down the blind side, but that's a lot of work for Ireland there. A good defence, you'd have to say, from South Africa. This is a lovely little ball on the inside. Nearly gets away. Etzebeth makes a tackle with Mostert. Aronson gets good and low, stops that momentum from O'Mahony there. Ringrose here again. He's just so good at that in those short little channels. You could have argued it. That could be a little bit more. It's Jesse Creel there with the tackle. I think it was lower. There's nothing wrong with the tackle, but it's a worry when you see Sexton going down. And it's incredibly physical, this game. So, but credit to Ireland. They're actually taking the game. They started really well in the second half.
Well, certainly no sign, CJ, of the intensity dropping in this opening 5 minutes of the second period.
Yeah, you can see it there, especially with James and Gibson Park coming on the pitch. I think he's actually testing that fringes now from the breakdown. I think South Africa is going hard at the breakdown, so it leaves them vulnerable. That's a good spot from him. And that tackle on Johnny was quite intense. And I think the next 20 minutes again, we're going to see some physical battle.
I think the key for Ireland, CJ, is to try and get the multi-phase, which, they're getting to 5, 6, 7 phases. But he's going to the corner. The crowd are loving this, but it's a massive opportunity now. And can Ireland execute here?
Here we go. I think this is what they were looking for. Here we go. I think this is what they were looking for. Yes, again, they need to just get the forwards around the corner and try to get those phases going and get the wingers in the game.
Well, we mentioned the test will keep coming for Finlay Bealham and the rest of that Irish front row. Malherbe, having conceded 2 penalties, he's been withdrawn. And in comes the former Saracens front rower, Vincent Koch, a man who lost his job at Wasps just 3 months after leaving Saracens. He's now headed for Stade Francais. One in the air by O'Mahony. South Africa looking to force them into touch. And really well defended by the Springboks. The referee wants to have a closer look at it, though.
Josh van der Fleer thinks he got there, whether there was feet in touch beforehand. An incredible dynamic drive in at the angle from the South Africans. They got down really quick. He has a grounding.
Getting go forward from that front ball is quite difficult. That's well done from Ireland and Josh van der Fleer.
When the player grounds the ball, It's not in touch or not?
We'll have a look. Yes, understood.
Okay.
Well, under a huge amount of pressure, Van der Fleer, as he came around that corner. Well, there's no issue with the grounding. Question is, was there any part of Van der Fleer in touch?
Carrier, and he grounds it. We're just trying to see where his feet are.
Well, all around him were losing their heads. Josh Van der Fleer kept his. I think those legs belong to Van der Fleer, and they are well inside that touchline.
Yeah, this should be a try. Josh Van der Fleer goes down on one knee, and he's not in touch. You can see him just dropping there now. His feet are well from the touch.
Yes, we're looking to see where his feet are.
Yeah, it's a bit complicated.
You need to give me a bit more time.
Right, yeah. Take your time now because the jerseys look same. So take your time now to determine where the foot is.
Well, this is the angle that should give us a better idea.
And he's wearing a headgear.
Well, there is Van der Fleer. And both of those legs are in.
I have a decision for you.
Okay.
The player is not in touch, and he grounds.
That is a superb finish from Josh Van der Fleer. His 7th try in his last 13 tests. And it's a massive moment early in the second half. The 9th international try for the Leinster Open side.
Scored by number 7, Josh Van der Fleer.
Well, for all the world, CJ, South Africa looked to have been sending Ireland well over that touchline, but Van der Fleer had other ideas.
That's some presence of mind to be in the game there and see where the line is. Just look at the forwards here. You can see Peter O'Mahony, Kellen Doris, Sheenan actually pushing back in. They're outside of the pitch, smart enough to get the players back in. They were still working off the pitch. The South Africans are coming around the corner quite hard, trying to shift that front ball. Josh Van der Fleer, well done. That is unbelievable presence of mind to make sure you get that ball down and get outside.
A very pleased bunch there as well. What a star of this team he's become. The reigning European Player of the Year, the Irish Players Player of the Year. The individual accolades are one thing. He wants to be on the winning side here today. Well, history would tell us Sexton has a less than 1 in 2 chance of nailing this from this position. They opted to go for the corner, and they've reaped the rewards for that already. This would be a bonus. Not to be. But a 5-point lead is as much as either of these sides have enjoyed at any stage in this game.
Ireland 6. Ireland 11. South Africa 6.
There's some pressure coming on from the South Africans there, and it just spins around. I think Visa was probably one of the ones running around the corner there, but as you say, CJ, Van der Fleer did brilliantly there to get that ball down.
Here's Doris. Sense that the momentum was with Ireland at the moment. That left boot option of Jimmy O'Brien, where James Lowe has had such a good time of it with Ireland over the last couple of years. It's a great option to have. Here's Willemse back inside to Etzebeth.
I tell you, Finlay Bealham made a great tackle on Colby there. It's not easy when he's running up, just stepping.
Henriksen back to Colby. Keenan comes, calls and claims. Bealham inside for Ryan.
Ball is there. Go back.
Gibson Park has pointed to the skies. Damien Willemse
It's out now, yes.
will likely be the target here. Off goes Balogun. Willemse kept his composure and is met by Balogun and Ringrose. Ball is out for Doris, and he somehow kept this alive. Ryan, torture for Bealham, and off goes Gibson Park. Byrne, there's numbers here for Ireland. Keenan, Jimmy O'Brien from Mark Hansen. Fabulous is rugby from Ireland. And the #1 ranked side in the world have come to play in this second half.
Oh, what a bit of magic from Gibson Park. Finds that space in the field, midfield. But I tell you what, Hugo Keenan there. What a take in the air. And all that tries come from that brilliant continuity from Ireland in midfield. That's Keenan here, the determination. McPimpy's so good. He takes the hit from the Khaleesi as well. And then Ringrose counter-attack, ball shoots out. Brilliant from Doris before he's in touch. And then watch the reaction here. You have that shooter out of the way. Porter gets through, gets that little tip-on pass. I tell you, Gibson Park's timing a pass there. Great finish then. What a try from Ireland. What a reaction. 2 tries in a couple of minutes. Superb.
There's so much that was good about that try, from the fielding in the air, CJ, to the presence of mind from Doris on the touchline, and also the awareness from Gibson Park to see that he was up against Kitsoff in midfield. A real mismatch there.
Those are the team tries we love to see from Ireland. Everyone was involved. Someone has had an unbelievable impact so far with a small few touches. Finlay Bealham, good scrum, good tackle, as we said on Colby. Just that small offload. He came into this game and he's growing.
So a second international try for Mac Hansen, the other against the French in Paris this year. And now Sexton.
Tyke Byrne had a lovely little tip on in the midfield as well, hadn't he?
It's a cleaner strike this time, but just tails away to the left. But the Irish lead is 10.
Score now, Ireland 16, South Africa 6.
South Africa now, that is the trigger for them to start emptying their bench as we look at that glorious ball inside from Doris. And Jimmy O'Brien on his international debut just kept his head and put Hansen in for an easy finish. Faf de Klerk is on at half-back for South Africa. Deon Fourie also in as well, the 36-year-old Stormers forward. He's having an Indian summer to his career.
Yeah, and Jimmy Bryan has played well, hasn't he, since he's come on. He's given him that left foot option there. Doris again taking the kick off, making the hard yards, taking, you know, big hits off the South Africans there. Ireland have found their flow a little bit here now, and they can't switch off. They're 10 points ahead. It's not a big scoreline. You know, Quagga Smith has come on for the South Africans. He'll put more pressure at that breakdown, and of course Faf de Klerk, very abrasive player as well.
Advantage Ireland. South Africa about to bring in the former Wasps fullback Willie LaRue. Sexton just sized up his options. Keenan stepping inside. Balogun would have been away if he could have just got his hands free. Bealham. Oh, that was a risky one. And South Africa have turned that ball over to Klerk. De Toy, Willemse, Jesse Creel. That looked forward to Khaleesi, and it was.
I tell you, watch the tackle from Hugo Keenan here. The pressure. Jesse Creel has a look up, says, I'm going to take on this Irish player, but Keenan just takes the legs. He's had a big second half so far, Hugo Keenan. This is the timing of the pass. Steph de Toy there is hunting Sexton down. He's put a lot of pressure on Johnny Sexton all day. They get the ball back. South Africa, CJ, are getting a little bit sloppy. Is it down to Ireland's accuracy, or is it just they're fatiguing a little bit? Who knows?
Yeah, I think we'll probably see a change when they bring some more players off the bench, South Africa. But I think, again, it's about the physicality in the start of the game. I think they're just fatiguing now, and we'll probably see a few changes coming in. Line-out ball there, a forward pass there.
Yeah, well, they've got to get the scrum right again. We saw the 2 previous ones. One that went down. The 2 of them went down. Second one, a penalty. Finlay Bealham has got to get this one right here. He needs O'Mahony scrummaging hard on him as well.
Well, they've made 6 of their 8 changes already, South Africa. Just the 2 front row forwards, and Oxenche and Rongi Mbanambi still to come in. Another penalty for Ireland, and the fears over the absence of Furlong in this second half have been allayed by Finlay Bealham and the rest of that Irish
Well,
pack.
I tell Porter had Vincent Cock under a lot of pressure there. It crabbed across a little bit, but then Ireland got that momentum going forward. a little bit surprised with the force that Ireland got forward there, but they get the penalty, and again they're winning those moments in the second half, and you know, obviously they've got those 2 tries. Let's see it again. I think Porter just cleans Vincent Koch out there. It's very unlike him, and you can see Ireland get that last little surge there and deservedly get the penalty. Very impressive. You said it, there's no furlong in there.
Yeah, the whole scrum going back and collapsing, but he needs to be straightened out.
Phelan could be very proud of his efforts so far, but a long way to go. Another great take in the air by O'Mahony. And lost forward.
Whistle's gone.
Yeah, they were nearly going forward too quick, weren't they there? But I tell you, that's
What's the break now?
That's some throw from Dan Sheehan right to O'Mahony at the very top of the jump. There's 2 South African pods going up behind him and in front of him, so it was a risky one, but he got it right.
Well, this is just day one of a feast of rugby over the next few weeks here in Virgin Media 2. Join us Thursday night. Páirc Uí Chaoimh is the venue. Munster taking on a South African Select 15. That should be a great evening. Join us from 6:30 for that. Next Saturday, we're back here in Dublin. The earlier time of midday for Ireland-Fiji. And then to wrap up the Autumn Nation Series, it will be Ireland hosting Australia in a fortnight's time. Well, what a way to kick things off it would be if they were to take down the world champions. And that Mac Hansen try has Ireland in a very promising position. Well, a much-needed break at the moment with the 2 sets of players taking on some liquid. CJ, what has the change been for you in this first 15 minutes of the second period?
I just saw that try there with Mac Hansen. Players are running onto that ball in that space. I think the ball is being put in front of him, and that's all working against the South African defence. You can see Mapimpi and him coming in, almost hitting the 13 channel, and the ball is going a bit wider. And again, I just think South Africa is fatiguing at the moment. You can see in the few sloppy balls they've lost, and Ireland is just growing and growing, and I think the bench has done very well when they came on. Big impact.
And we can see from the graphic there the ruck speed, and that's probably been the key for the second half. It's been quicker for Ireland. Gibson Park has been able to move the ball away a little bit quicker, and it's probably stopped that really aggressive defensive line. It slows it down a little bit. It makes him check. We saw you know, them shooting out of the line, and it just completely fractured there for that try from Mac Hansen. But Ireland's execution very impressive there.
Phelan against Kitshoff. Phelan should be the fresher of the 2. Kitshoff starting to look pretty fatigued.
Stay up, good job, stay up. And move the ball, please.
Taken up by Dion Forey. Now, Vincent Koch.
Nine, use it, please.
They're primed and ready to chase. Here comes Balakoon. Lost forward. To Clerk for Willemse. Poor pass. Well, Ireland were hoping to hear advantage over as South Africa took that ball away from the ruck. Springboks a little fortunate there.
Yeah, a little bit, but they knew they had the knock-on advantage, so he took a risk there. This is a lottery, isn't it? It's hard for Balakoon there. I think gets a hand to that, so I'm not sure if it was a knock-on. It's easy for us to say when you see the replay, but it's a bit of a lottery, that kick. Let's see, is this hand get in here? No, well, Balakoon touched it as well, so it was a knock-on.
I just think the smarts there. You can see Porter and James Ryan running back, not touching that ball. That's a penalty. All they do when they've left it. So the Springboks get their scrum. I think it's a big defensive set coming up again.
Changes. 1 and 2, South Africa is off.
And here come the final couple of changes for the Springboks. Bongi and Monambi comes in for his 53rd appearance. And Oxenche, another powerful ball carrier. He comes in for Marks in the front row.
Yeah, it's a lot of power in Che and Mbonambi, but I tell you, Ireland have done really well to stop Malcolm Marks. He usually gets 2, 3, 4 turnovers a game, and he hasn't got any today. He had one big moment, of course, in the first half, but they've done a real good job in stopping him. But that's a lot of power coming off the bench. It's fresh legs as well, and you know, they have those 6 forwards in that pack now for this second half, and Let's see, can they make a difference? Well,
they've earned the penalty.
Yeah, it's an immediate impact from Oxenche.
Tight head coming up.
Finlay Beelum there just stood up out of that scrum. But it's incredible pressure coming through.
Phillips a fine touch. Not the best of kicks, though.
What's the pressure there? Yeah, Finlay Beelum just popped straight up out of it.
I think Okniche was told there to keep up the shoulder, and he actually popped Beelum, you know, so I think it helped a lot for the picture for the ref.
And Bonami's first line-out throw. Man, it was forced off so early in that World Cup final after just 22 minutes. Plenty of deception in that South African line. Malambé has it. In comes de Klerk to play it. You feel the next score has to come from South Africa if they're to turn this around. The Porter making a real nuisance of himself, as is Sheehan. They never change their bind, and they have done that so effectively.
It's a brilliant collective effort from them. You know, they looked in control there, South Africa. All the Irish forwards, Porter, O'Mahony right in the thick of it, James Ryan. That's the unseen work that wins you matches like this. You know, Porter's hanging on to 2 or 3 guys there. Look at the aggression of O'Mahony and Beelum coming in there. Makes a huge difference there. James Ryan, Sheehan in there as well. They're big moments. Farrell loves that. Any coach would love that.
That is how a pack backs himself up from a penalty scrum and come back and get a scrum to show what they're worth. Well done from that.
Yeah, well, they've got it. The problem they have now is they've got to get this scrum right. And South Africa and Enche, the replacement Lucet, is going to go at Finlay Beelum again. He's got to get really low here.
Set.
So, brand new South African front row. Well, Ireland get their own back.
Yeah, it's a definite penalty, Dave, because they're just crabbing straight across the field to try and turn the scrum around. It's completely illegal, and they didn't fool the referee there. I think you will see another shot of it overhead, and it's just completely spinning around. And again, it's an important psychological win for Ireland. They've taken, you know, the last scrum. Obviously, South Africa got a penalty for it. They put it down the line. Ireland defend them all. They turn it over. And now they have a chance to go upfield again. They don't get into the South African half, but it's a big scrum, isn't it? Watch the legs, the angle. They're going right across, even those second rows.
It was all rather untidy.
You could argue, if you're a South African watching that Porter goes in a little bit in that angle as well, but it's difficult for him, and the team in possession got rewarded.
And how quickly out of the blocks was Vincent Koch there. Showed a fleet of foot, the front row forward. Certainly the line out will have to be looked at from Ireland heading into the games against Fiji and Australia. Not just quick off the mark, lovely hands as well from Koch, but they couldn't keep it in hand and knocked on at the end by Quagga Smith. Doris. Gibson Park with the kick, and he's got that all wrong. He may have to field his own kick. Knocked on. Smith just bounced off Dan Sheehan. Etzebeth.
No, release him.
Into the final quarter of this pulsating test match now. LaRue, out it goes towards Jesse Creel. De Klerk, LaRue in it. First receiver, Etzebeth with another carry. LaRue again. Willemse. Lovely flat pass to find Mapimbi.
Go ahead,
not really for Mapimbi to go. Ireland counter-rucking for great effect. And a bit of a rush of blood to the head for Ty Bird, perhaps. Gibson Park looking to turn. An average kick to do a good one with that chase. Colby. Byrne does get his tackle in the end. Henche, LaRue for Creel. Knocked backwards by Keenan.
Ireland, stay.
Looking for a little pocket of space between Willemse and LaRue.
Hold on.
Willemse, a little goose step doesn't fool Sexton. De Klerk, to Toy. Well handled by Mbanambi.
No hands now. No, don't pull it.
Well, they're taking it quickly. Off goes Quagga Smith. Good tackle from Gibson Park. That was brave. LaRue. Etzebeth. Again he's held. Jimmy O'Brien that time. And knocked forward by Willemse. Stout defensive play from Ireland, who have put their own welfare to the side to take down some of the biggest men in world rugby.
Yeah, it was a penalty coming there for Josh van der Fleer, and I think he's quite entitled to hit the arm there, and the ball went forward. Quagga Smith takes the quick penalty. He's very powerful. Gibson Park does brilliantly to take him down there. And you think they're going to score. What a tackle from Jimmy O'Brien. So much power coming through there. Oxenche with the pass. And I think Willemse there, he sees and feels Balakoon right in front of him coming out of the line. We spoke about the Mapimpi tackle in the first half. That was as effective there, and it forced that knock on there. Ireland hanging on a little bit, and South Africa throwing everything at it.
Yeah, I think that's the second breath you spoke about. The Springboks are going to bring in this second half. There was some unbelievable defence. Jameson putting his head down there. Quagga with the no step straight over. And I think you're right. Balakoon made sure he was in his face there, in Willemse's face, and try-saving tackle.
So, here Seth Toy has been withdrawn. It does look like they have brought in Dion Forey. There he is.
For Ireland, number 16.
Well into his mid-30s at this stage. When he could play in the back row and hooker. But they've had to bring back in Curtly Aronson, South Africa, for that blood injury to Makazole Mapimpi. And Dan Sheehan after another huge shift that he's put in. And he's been replaced at hooker by Rob Herring, of course, South African born. And it's all happening out there. Very difficult to keep track of exactly who's on and who's not.
Time back on. On me, guys. On me.
A lot of missed tackles by the South Africans over some of the pressure that Ireland have been putting on them.
Ireland 4.
Jameson Gibson Park has been tended to after that big tackle he put in on Quagga Smith. And they brought the scrum cap in for him as well. There is Aronson, who didn't see much of the ball when he was on before being withdrawn. Kieran Treadwell in a day before his 27th birthday comes on for Ty Byrne. He's had another big game for Ireland.
From Ireland.
Byrne gets a huge ovation. Such a consistent performer.
Hold the pressure. Hold the pressure.
Still plenty of time for the world champions to turn this around.
Crutch. Bye. Set.
So a rather different looking Jameson Gibson Park with the put in. There's a clean strike from Rob Herring, his first contribution, sent it flying back to Doris.
And 9, use it.
Gibson Park blocked down by Etzebeth. It's a towering figure to try and get past. Brilliantly done though by Josh van der Fleer. The tackle came in from Khaleesi.
Advantage over.
Phelan for Treadwell, who's into the fray immediately. Now Ryan. Mbanambi gripping his right ankle with dear life. But South Africa forced Ireland into holding on.
Get the ball. Release the ball. Holding on.
Yeah, it was Dean Faree there this time. So good on the ground. And that's why they probably made those changes and put him on the bench as well.
No, listen. Watch your language now, all right? Watch your language, Mark is there.
Billy LaRue getting a little bit of a telling off. He's hot-headed, isn't he, CJ? He fires up.
I think he was speaking Afrikaans there for a while.
He's a prickly character, Willie LaRue. That's a terrible kick from Willemse. Easily taken by Balakoon. They had concerns over that man with the boot coming into this game, and they will not have been allayed in this match. Off goes Gibson Park again. Flung to the ground by Etzebeth like a rag doll. Treadwell for Beelum.
Now you got the ball, you have to use it.
Back for Sexton. Kept alive by Willemse. That was Hugo Keenan very obviously pushing De Clercq into the ball carrier.
Release!
LaRue. Delende.
No hands.
De Klerk for LaRue. Slides one through for Colby. And he lays it out to his right. What a tackle from Hansen. Ireland's scramble defence comes up trumps again. South Africa looked for all the world like they were going over. They may still do. Fourie opted to go alone. High tackle, penalty advantage for South Africa. Delende for LaRue. And almost over was Mostert, and he is in. The referee will want another look.
Yes, sir. So I got an unfair decision, try. Because I think the player has grounded the ball. Just need to double check this.
Okay, because we can, we will.
Former Lions and Gloucester second row has only scored a couple of tries in his test match career. Oh, he's got pressure on that all right.
I think that's a prize good there.
South Africa have come roaring back into this game.
South Africa scored by number 19.
Yeah, and you've got to give South Africa credit. Their reaction has been incredibly energetic. The substitutions have made a difference. The pace and tempo that they've got in the last, 7-8 minutes has been very impressive. And they could have scored over the far corner. Some great cover tackles. Lovely little kick through by Billy LaRue. Mac Hansen does brilliantly there, doesn't he? Colby nearly gets there. Jimmy O'Brien is stopping him. And they had a penalty coming. Ireland hanging on here. They get across, make the tackle. They had a penalty coming, but that pass there, I think it's Kieran Treadwell just probably comes up out of that line there and gives that opportunity to Mostert.
So it's down to Cheslin Colby to make this a 3-point game. Off the post. Another let off for Ireland for the kicking team. Ireland have made a couple of further changes. They brought Cian Healy into the front row. His fifth appearance against South Africa, 13 years after his first. As we look at Mostert's expert finish, Jack Colan has replaced Peter O'Mahony in the back row.
Jack Colan replacing number 6, Peter O'Mahony.
Sinavar and Erasmus happy with that one.
What a difference the second half is. It's non-stop, isn't it? We haven't had loads of tries, 2 from Ireland, 1 from South Africa, but there's been so much tempo and pace to this second half. A lot more opportunities for players to run with the ball.
Restart collected by Mostert.
Substitution for Ireland, number 17, Keane Healy.
For Willemse.
Replacing
Willie
number 1,
LaRue.
Andrew Porter.
Taken on by Forey.
No hands now.
Ireland need to play a bit of rugby in South African territory for a little while.
Tackle and release.
South Africa has almost gone to that second game plan of them having 2 attackers with Willie and Damien both sides. I think that's what's putting Ireland under pressure.
Willemse and LaRue, the 2 players just mentioned. Now the hands of De Allende. Balogun shot out of the line and didn't make his tackle. Mostert. Tackled by Ryan. Counter ruck from Ireland is good. Declared for Willemse.
Hold.
Hansen and Keenan left it for each other, but they've plenty of time to assess their options,
Ireland, hold,
which is to go skyward. Backwards off the hands of de Klerk. Willemse looking for a 50-22, but he's overcooked it. And Ireland get field position in South African territory.
Yeah, that's a big mistake from Willemse, and I'm not sure that was the best kick upfield.
Yeah, water break, please.
Ireland looking a little bit fatigued now. It's very difficult because the pace and the tempo has really increased. You know, they're having to defend so manfully and kind of stay connected in defence because, you know, this is a South African side that, you know, have the confidence and belief that they can go back. They're 5 points behind. We're on the 70th mark.
Well, Rob Carney in studio before the game, CJ, was saying that he felt Ireland needed 5 to 7 point buffer heading into the closing stages. They have that. Do you see them getting over the line from here?
Yeah, that is. I think that's going to help them now, especially with this line-out coming in. I think they need to get some points here, even if it's just 3, just to make that buffer just out of the reach from the Springboks, and to give them some time to recoup.
Yeah, make it a 2-score game should be their objective from here. And the bruised and battered bodies of Furlong and McCluskey. McCluskey's evening cut very short. Tibet will surely still believe these Springboks are made of stern stuff.
Guys, back on.
Comes back on the Irish side. Sexton. Doris looking to lead the chase. He may have touched it, the Mayo man, but it hasn't been called. And Banambi shovels the ball somewhere towards LaRue. Now Willemse. South Africa looking a little ragged. Hansen will run it back. Hit Keenan on his shoulder. Gibson Park looks right and left. Gives it to Ryan. Keane Healy with his hand calling for it.
Advantage offside.
Conan, penalty coming for Ireland. Treadwell.
And not rolling, yes, play advantage Ireland.
Sexton. Jimmy O'Brien looking at this one, LaRue. And they'll come back for that penalty. Well, there was a free play for Sexton. And perhaps, CJ, if Balogun had been on the right wing, it might have been a fairer contest in the air.
17
yeah, that was a pinpoint kick, you know. I think all of us kept us up the breath there, and we almost thought it was going to happen, but we got the penalty there. Now, corner, 3 points, there we go. Big moment.
It is. You feel at any other stage of the game, this close to the touchline, they would have gone for the corner, but Ireland need to go in for the kill here and give them that 8-point buffer. hushed tone of anxiety descends around the Aviva Stadium. A full house, and the vast majority will feel that this could be the hinge moment in this game. A man with over 1,000 points in Test match rugby. The 21st time he started a Test match as captain, looking to lead Ireland to a win over the world champions. This would go a long way towards achieving that. Never in doubt. Ireland have a little bit of breathing space. Now for the world champions, it's over to you.
Scored by the captain, number 10, Jonathan Sexton. Ireland,
Since these teams last met, Ireland have won a series in Australia. They've done the same in New Zealand, and they've won a Grand Slam. But they want the scalp of the world champions, and they will not be giving up without a proper scrap. They've 6 minutes to turn this around. Etzebeth. They'll need to score quickly, South Africa. Willemse, big hit from Mac Hansen.
In the tackle, right?
Willie LaRue felt that was a deliberate knock-on, but
It's in the tackle.
the referee insisted it was part of the tackle.
Option, all right? It's in the tackle, so it's an option for line out in the scrum, South Africa. Option. Scrum. Park to height. Go back, go back.
It was a brilliant take in the air. Well, was that a fair call, or was Mac Hansen a little fortunate?
He's a little fortunate there, but I think he's trying to, in that grab motion, and that's why he probably gets away with it. It's just a penalty.
Well, he's just seen the replay on the big screen, and that's the reason for the little smirk that he had on his face a moment ago. He feels that he's maybe dodged a bullet there as well, the Connacht winger.
Advantage.
South Africa with a penalty if required. They do need 2 scores. De Klerk, put down by Ringrose, who's had a quietly efficient afternoon in the 13 jersey. He spent most of the game playing at 12. De Klerk for Vincent Koch. And if South Africa do score, Ireland need to ensure they force them into taking as long as they possibly can in doing so. Colby jinking and dancing, looking for a space that isn't there. De Klerk for Koch. Willie LaRue is taken down by Balakoon. Now Etzebeth. What a pass from Etzebeth! That's fabulous rugby! Finished off by Curtly Aronson. The tallest man on the field had the softest hands at the crucial time.
Absolute brilliance from Etzebeth there. Aronson on the outside, but you think Balakoon does brilliantly here to make this tackle. He gets his timing right just before this play, but that's brilliant play from Etzebeth. He's such a tall man and a skillful player as well. Superb.
Well, you wouldn't have put your money on Chesley Colby making that kick.
Conversion goes wide. The score is Ireland 19, South Africa 16.
That's the tackle on Willie LaRue, and in fairness, Willie LaRue did brilliantly to get back up, keep the ball alive, I should say, and that's super skills, isn't it?
I think that's from very, very, very good skill from Eben. To get the ball away there, there's not much you can do as a defender. You have to go at him, and Ireland's in the right spot.
Well, Ireland, or South Africa rather, will need to try to win this game.
Substitution for Ireland, number 22,
Joey Carberry has come in.
Replacing number 10,
So many times over the years he's come in for Sexton to help close out some of these biggest moments, going all the way back to the win over New Zealand in Chicago. 6 years ago now.
Time back home.
What a servant to the Irish game that man has been. 77 minutes in, he's finally left the fray. Can Ireland hold out? Cleared by de Klerk, insisting it had touched an Irish hand on the way.
No, lads, no, stop it. No touch.
Yeah, 2.5 minutes left, and it's obviously a bit nerve-wracking. Only 3 points in it.
Alan, go.
Really important that Ireland win this line out and build some phases here and try and see out the clock. It would be a brilliant win given all the injuries that they've had and the power and the aggression of the South Africans.
Ireland 9-game run of home victories, 627 days since they were last beaten on home soil. And that penalty will be of great assistance to making it 10 wins in a row. A South African boot coming through under the nose of the referee. Etzebeth ran 50 metres to retrieve that ball to get play back up and running. Here it comes, there you go.
Yeah, it's out of desperation, isn't it? Khaleesi's not happy, but it is a penalty. The crowd are loving it. It's a brilliant win for Ireland. I think you could say it's a win. CJ Stander is laughing at me here. It's not a banker yet. There's a minute and 20 seconds, but I'm saying it's a win. Obviously, they've got to execute this line out here. They didn't win it clean the last time, but what an atmosphere, what a performance against under so much pressure.
Rob Herring needs to find his man.
They're taking their time.
Felix Jones screaming at Herring for taking so much time with the throw, which was an excellent one. Ringrose, just a few more phases for Ireland. Gibson Park, Doris, shunted backwards.
No, away.
Treadwell. Into the final 30 seconds. Desperate times for the world champions.
Oh, they're cleaning out the players.
Gibson Park for Treadwell again.
Lost.
Two big
Perhaps one more phase might do it. Van der Fleer is poised and waiting. George Carberry, who must find the touchline, which he does. And Ireland have beaten the world champions. They've justified their tag as the world's #1 ranked nation in a test match that had it all. An arm wrestle in the first half, but the touch paper was lit early in the second. Pushed all the way, as you would expect, by Shane Khaleesi and his players. Ireland have come out on top, and they have kicked off the autumn international sequence in style.
Yeah, it's an incredible win, and credit to both sets of players. It was so intense throughout the game.
Well, there were so many big performances, Alan, but player of the match was a decision that had to be made, a difficult one, I'm sure.
Yeah, there was so many, it was so forward-orientated at times. I'm picking Josh Van der Fleer as player of the match, not just for his tackles and his energy around the field, but his ability to protect the ball when Ireland had it so many times. He's had an incredible year. Doris was brilliant as well. James Ryan, Hugo Keane.